Hello friends, continuation with the last numerical and the part is question number 9 and the part is using information find the measure of angle A, angle B and angle C. This is a question of our chapter 3, that is a triangle over here, and we are trying to understand the same question from a diagram point of view. They have given a diagrammatical structure, first ray, second line and third ray. Means there are two ray and one line. This combination they have given, which form tentative diagram of a triangle. And the part is, they have given angle A, angle B and angle C. These are the inside angles of a triangle. Opposite to angle B, they have given 70 degree. Naturally, angle B is equal to 70 degree, reason vertically opposite angle. And they have given angle C and its connected linear pair, they have given it 100 degree. With the help of this 100 degree, we can find its connected adjacent angle, because angle C and angle 100 degree are linear pair, and with the help of that we can find the C, and after getting the value of B and C we can find the value of angle A. First of all, we are going to write all the part in a structure, and proper writing method with the reasoning we are going to solve it. Now as per a diagram description, starting from angle B and the part is, first from diagram, we can have angle B is equal to 70 degree, and reason become vertically opposite angles. This is a short form of a vertically opposite angle. We can write it in a short also. So we are able to get the first value, angle B is equal to 70 degree. Now we are moving for angle C. Next, angle C plus 100 degree. Angle C plus 100 degree is equal to 180 degree. Reason, angles in linear pair. Angles in linear pair. Next, here angle C plus 100 degree is equal to 180 degree, shifting this 100 degree to that side. Therefore, angle C is equal to 180 minus 100, and therefore angle C is equal to 180 minus 100 means 80 degree. Now this is our first answer, so I am going to indicate it as equation number 1. This is second answer, so I am going to indicate as equation number 2. Now as we are able to get the value of B, that is 70 degree, now we are able to get the value of C, that is 80 degree. So we are moving for angle A, which is a part over there, where angle A, angle B and angle C form one triangle. So third part, from triangle angle A plus angle B plus angle C is equal to 180 degree, and reason, sum of the angles of triangle. Here angle A that we are supposed to find. So angle A, angle B that is 70 degree, so 70 degree plus angle C is equal to 80 degree is equal to 180 degree. Therefore angle A, here 70 plus 80 that become 150 degree is equal to 180 degree. Here the value, angle A is equal to 180. Shifting this plus 150 to that side, shifting this plus 150 to that side, it become minus 150 degree. And naturally, your value, angle A is equal to 180 minus 150, that is 30 degree. And I am going to indicate as equation number 3. And in this way, first of all, you are getting the value of B, that is 70 degree because of vertically opposite angle. Next, angle C, that is 80 degree with the help of linear pair. And third, angle A is equal to 30 degree. That is nothing but sum of the angles of triangle is 180 degree. No doubt, make a proper box to first, second and third answer as it is specific answer for your question. And in this way, by proper making a box, we can complete the entire answer. Continuation with the last lecture, moving to the next part. Question number 10 and a part is line DE parallel to line GF. Line DE parallel to line GF. Ray EG and ray FG are bisector of angle DEF and DFM respectively. Prove that angle DEG is half of angle EDF and second EF is equal to FG. Now same question I am going to explain from diagram point of view so everyone can understand. As per their part, they have given DE, line DE parallel to FG, they have given it, or DE parallel to GF. Next, ray EG and ray FG, ray EG and ray FG are angle bisector of angle DEF and angle DFM respectively. Means here you should know that EG is an angle bisector. EG is an angle bisector of DEF. Means we can say that this angle is congruent with this. They have given it first part. Next, FG is angle bisector of DFM. Means here we can say that this angle is congruent with this. They have given us. Then prove that angle DEG, means we have to prove that angle DEG means this angle is half of angle EDF, half of angle EDF means half of this, and second EF is equal to FG. We have to prove that EF is equal to FG. Now in this case, some consideration that take into part that you should know properly. One by one I am going to give the explanation before writing only so that you can easily understand the part. Here one by one part taken into consideration. Angle DEF which is given over here, EG is its angle bisector. Now breakup of some diagrams that I shown it over here so that I can clearly complete the proof and your understanding concept should be very clear over here. In that case, first of all try to understand. As EG is angle bisector of DEF over here, means these two angles are congruent. In case of a calculation, we are going to assume it as X part 1 that you should know as an angle bisector property. Next, you have to understand some of the property of exterior angle, you have to understand some of the property of corresponding angles, and you have to understand some of the property of alternate angle. How? Pay attention one by one. Here step 1 that I am going to clear it the property in terms of exterior angle, that is in triangle DEF. In triangle DEF we can have angle DFM is exterior angle, and we know that value of exterior angle means angle DFM, this is the value of exterior angle, is equal to sum of two remote interior angle. Means you can have angle DFM is equal to angle D plus angle E. Next, the part is, again they have given DE parallel to GF, DE parallel to GF. Here DE parallel to GF, DE parallel to GF. Here DE parallel to GF, then EF or EM will be act as a transversal. In that case, angle DEF must be congruent to GFM because these are corresponding angle. Giving the explanation over here, DEF is congruent to GFM. Means you can say that this angle O here must be congruent to this angle O here. But as per diagram, D GEF is x plus x means 2x. Automatically your GFM is also become 2x. So remember it carefully. GFM now become 2x. As per diagram, GFM become 2x. If your angle GFM become 2x, then its adjacent is also congruent because FG is angle bisector. If it is a 2x, then it is also 2x. Now, making combination over here from the reference part this. First evaluation. Here DEF, this is 2x. And if you are talking about GFM, that is 2x plus 2x. Now this entire angle become 4x. That you should able to understand that part. And this is the main logic of this part. Also we have to understand some logic which is based on alternate angle. What is exactly? DE parallel to GF, DE parallel to GF. Then in that case DF act as a transversal, DF act as transversal, means DE parallel to GF, DE parallel to GF. In that case DF act as a transversal. If DE parallel to GF and DF act as a transversal, you can say that this angle must be congruent to this angle. Naturally, angle DFG, this is nothing but 2x over here. So, if it is a 2x, automatically this angle also become 2x because these angles are nothing but alternate angles. Now, in this case, again you are getting angle D as 2x. Same part, I am going to add it over here. Also, you can have an alternate part. What is exactly? If it is a 2x and it is a 4x, addition of these two is exterior angle. Naturally, 2x plus what is 4x? Naturally, this is also 2x. And this is the logic you should able to understand from these diagrams. So, one part is angle bisector. Second part, parallel line and corresponding angles, and third, parallel line, transversal and alternate angles. And in this way, entire part is going to give evaluation so that all the part taken into consideration from the diagram. So I am going to write entire part in terms of proof. It is somehow longer in length, so please try to understand. Now here you can see that angle DEG is x, DEG is x, and here EDF, now definitely it's 2x, and half of 2x is x, and in this way we can prove that angle DEG is half of angle EDF, and that is the first part of a proof that we are going to prove. But remember, this part I am not going to add immediately over here, so please pay attention seriously. Now starting a writing part from angle division in terms of EG, where XX angle get formed, I am going to start the part over here. Means in angle DEF, EG is angle bisector, therefore angle DEG is equal to GEF. So the part is, first, for angle DEF, EG is angle bisector, they have given, so I would write it as given. Therefore, angle DEG is congruent to angle GEF. Also we are going to add angle DEG is equal to angle GEF is equal to X, C. Now we have a part that DEG is equal to GF is equal to X. Naturally we can say angle DEF. Therefore angle DEF is equal to X plus X means 2X. I want to give this equation as equation number 1 and this equation as equation number 2. It is nothing but by angle addition property. This is the first part for angle DEF. This is the first part for angle DEF. Now from DEF we are moving into the part of second angle over here, and the part is. Now in second part we are going to write DE parallel to GF and EF or EM is act as a transversal. Means we are talking about this part. DE parallel to GF and EF or EM act as a transversal. Naturally angle DEF is congruent to GFM. These are nothing but corresponding angle, and giving the declaration about 2x and 2x, and the part is. So second, DE parallel to GF, DE parallel to GF and EF is act as transversal. It is given to us, so I am going to write it as given. Therefore angle DEF, therefore angle DEF is congruent to angle GFM, and reason become corresponding angles. Now these two are corresponding angle and naturally these are congruent, but we are assuming this as a 2x, automatically this also become 2x. Therefore angle DEF is equal to angle GFM is equal to 2x. I am going to call it as equation number 3. Now we are able to get DEF is equal to GFM is equal to 2x. But also there is additional part that we should know over here in third category. What is exactly that part? Here they have given FG as angle bisector. Again I am going to explain the part over here and the part is. They have given FG is angle bisector of DFM, means it is an exterior angle. If in that case GFM is 2x, then its congruent angle DFG is also 2x. So I am going to add the third part over here, and the part is. Third, also FG is angle bisector. FG is angle bisector of angle DFM. Reason given. Therefore angle DFG is congruent to angle GFM. Reason as angle bisector. As FG is the angle bisector of angle DFM, so angle DFG is congruent to GFM. Now we have assumed DFG over here, DFG congruent to FGM, but as per our part GFM, that is 2x. If it is a 2x, automatically this is also 2x. So taking the reference of that, therefore angle DFG is equal to angle GFM is equal to 2x. I'm going to give it as equation number 4. Now DFG is equal to GFM is equal to 2x. Both the angle become 2x. Again we are going to do angle addition property, and the part is here DFG that become 2x, GFM that become 2x. Now we are going to make addition of both, means DFM, that is 2x plus 2x, that is 4x. Means we are writing DFM, that is 4x. Writing that part over here, and the part is, therefore angle DFM is equal to angle DFG plus angle GFM is equal to 2x plus 2x, and that is equal to 4x. So again we are getting an answer, angle DFM is equal to 4x degrees, and I'm going to call it as equation number 5. Now remember student, this numerical is longer in length, and again we need the same space what we have used it over here. So remember it. First of all, you have to read the question twice and try to understand that diagram. After understanding a diagram, observe this lecture for that part and keep drawing that diagram side by side. Then and then you are understanding this writing methodology. Next, I am going to rough entire part and I am going to solve the next part on the next board page size so that you can easily understand the part. So remember, I am going to rough entire part over here and I am going to write the next part. Now, here I have written group number 1, group number 2 or group number 3. Or in equation we can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am going to use all the references for the next part. So please write the first portion and then continue with the second portion. Now we have come up to this part so that we can prove the rest of the numerical. Observe this triangle carefully. From all this calculation we are reached up to the middle position. In triangle DEF, angle DFM is exterior angle which is 4x, and we know that value of exterior angle is sum of two remote interior angles. Means value of this angle is equal to addition of these two, means angle D plus angle E, and from that we can get the value of D over here. Means angle DFM is equal to angle EDF plus DEF, and I am going to write that part over here for triangle DEF. So the part is, so fourth group, and the part is in triangle DEF, angle DFM is exterior angle. Therefore, angle DEF, or we can have angle EDF plus angle DEF is equal to exterior angle, that is DFM. Reason by exterior angle property. Here angle EDF that we are interested to find, EDF plus DEF, this value is 2x, and angle DFM that is 4x. Simplifying that part, therefore angle EDF is equal to 4x, shifting plus 2x to that side it become minus 2x, and 4x minus 2x that become 2x. Therefore angle EDF is equal to 2x degree, and that is nothing but your equation number 6. Now remember, we are able to get the value of EDF, that is 2x. Now I am going to add it over here. Angle EDF, now this become 2x. Now angle D is 2x, means from this diagram, this is 2x. Now we have one part. This angle is x and this angle is 2x. It is double of this or it is half of this. Now we can say that the same part we can prove. Angle DEG is half of EDF. Means we have to write x is half of 2x and writing that part over here. So the part is, therefore x is equal to half of 2x. Now x, according to that diagram, x is nothing but angle DEG. Angle DEG is half of 2x and 2x is nothing but angle EDF. Angle EDF. And we are taken from the reference 1, 2 and 6th. So I am writing the part from 1, 2 and 6th. And in this way, we are able to get our first main answer. And in this way, we can complete the part. Now, we are able to get the first answer, that is DEG is half of EDF. That is our first answer. We also need a second answer, EF is equal to FG. And again, in that case, I am going to draw one additional triangle so that you can understand the part. Now, understand these two diagrams. First of all, try to understand this diagram over here. What is exactly? They have given DE parallel to GF. DE parallel to GF. Naturally, EG act as a transversal, means DE parallel to GF and EG act as a transversal. If it is act as a transversal, then angle DEG, angle form over here, is equal to EGF, angle form over here. Already we have indicated DEG as X. So naturally it become X because these are alternate angles. And as it is X and X are congruent, observe the triangle EFG. EFG. Already this angle is X. So observe EFG. This angle is already X. And now we are able to find EGF. EGF as X. Naturally, first angle is X, second angle is X. In the same triangle, opposite to that side must be congruent. Then this side is equal to this side. Automatically we can say that EF is equal to FG. And this two part, we are going to write it over here. So please pay attention, that is our last part. Here, DE parallel to GF. DE parallel to GF and EG act as a transversal. EG act as transversal. Therefore, angle DEG. Therefore, angle DEG is congruent to angle EGF. And reason become alternate angles. Naturally, we can indicate angle DEG is equal to angle EGF is equal to X. I am going to call it as equation number 7. Now, from this reference, we are entering into triangle EFG. Therefore, in a triangle EFG, if you want to give the additional number, then we can give it as number 7. In triangle EFG, angle FEG is equal to angle FGE is equal to x. This is a x from 2 and this is a x from 8. So we can have from 2 and 8 or 2 and from 7. So the part is, these two angles are congruent in a triangle. Therefore, triangle EFG is isosceles triangle. And naturally, we can say that EF equal to FG. Therefore, EF is equal to FG. And it is your second and the most important answer. And in this way, you can complete your entire part. Remember student, this numerical is longer in length and having some specification. So definitely solving it is a critical part. So read it twice or understand it twice and then go for writing. Also, with this entire answer, understand that breakup of all the diagram that I have shown you over here, and that is the most important. Now student, in this lecture, we have to understand the part called as a congruency of triangles. Now what exactly mean by congruency of triangle? For indication, I have drawn two triangles in front of you and logically you can understand only one simple definition. If I am going to pick first triangle and kept on second triangle, vice versa. If I put first triangle and kept on this triangle, then both the triangles are overlapping with each other in exactly size and dimension. Then such a triangles are called as congruent triangle. And the test is called as a congruency of a triangle. Let us say this is a first triangle, this is a second triangle. I am generally giving a nomenclature as triangle ABC and second triangle PQR. Now here congruency also contains some kind of a test. Step by step we are going to observe it, but first try to understand. When all the three angles of first triangles are exactly congruent with all the three angles of second triangle and all the three sides of first triangles are exactly congruent with all the three sides of second triangle, then it is said that first triangle is congruent with second triangle or second triangle is congruent with first triangle. It is generally indicated by triangle ABC is congruent to triangle PQR. In this case, basically all three angles of first triangles are exactly congruent with all three angles of second triangle. Means you can say angle A is congruent to angle P, angle B is congruent to angle Q and angle C is congruent to angle R. We can use different indication part by which we can show them as a congruency. Means when two triangles are congruent, all the three angles of first triangles are exactly congruent with all the three angles of second triangle. Means the test for angles. Here angle A is congruent with angle P, angle B is congruent with angle Q and angle C is congruent with angle R. All three angles of first triangles are exactly congruent with all three angles of second triangle. Also this correlation is true for sides also. Means let us say side AB is of particular length. Same length is of PQ. BC length, whatever may be, is exactly equal to QR length and length of side AC is exactly equal to length in terms of side PR. Means just like angles, we have also some kind of a congruency for sides. So for sides, we can have side AB is congruent to side PQ. Side AB is congruent to side PQ. Next, side BC is congruent to side QR. side BC is congruent to side QR and side AC is congruent to side PR. Side AC is congruent to side PR. Means here we can say that all the three angles of first triangles are exactly congruent with all the three angles of second triangle, and all the three sides of first triangles are exactly congruent with all the three sides of second triangle. Then it is said that first triangle is congruent with second triangle, and this is the symbol of indication of congruency. And in this way we have to understand the part. Now in congruency of a triangle, for every triangle there are three sides, three angles. Three sides, three angles. In that case, every time this all six combination does not required. And in that case, we developed some test, and the tests are called as a congruency of a test for a triangle. And step by step we have to understand. In this case, among three angles and three sides, any two angle one side, any one side two angle get correspondence or equal, then the two triangles are congruent. But which test and how to prove, we have to understand it over here now. Hello friends, now we have to understand congruency of our triangles in terms of test. Among them there are total 4 tests in our syllabus. In this case, first of all we have to understand angle side angle test of congruence. No doubt there is a comparison between the two triangles, and in that case we have to check angle side angle, which is a short form always written ASA, test of congruency over here. What is exactly ASA or angle side angle test of congruency? Let me clear with the example over here. And the part is, there are two triangles. Let us say I am going to call first triangle name as ABC. For second triangle I am going to call it as a PQR. Now this is the first triangle, triangle ABC, and this is the second triangle, triangle PQR. In this case, let us say I am talking about base BC and base QR. This basement angle B is exactly equal to this basement angle Q. Next, this basement angle C is exactly equal to this basement angle R. And third part, base BC is congruent to base QR. Now the part is, if in a given two triangle, two angle and common side or middle side between the two angles is exactly congruent with two angles and common side of second triangle, then it is said that first triangle is congruent with second triangle by angle side angle test of congruency. Means here we can write triangle ABC is congruent to triangle PQR. Triangle ABC congruent to triangle PQR by angle side angle test of congruency. And in this way we can indicate the part over here. In a same part, like angle side angle test of congruency, there is another test. That test is called as side angle side test of congruency. Logically it is called as SAS, test of congruency. Now again in this case we are going to take a comparison between the two triangle and the parties. Let us say first triangle is PQR and second triangle is triangle LMN. Now one by one, here if I am going to say that length of PQ is exactly equal to length of LM, means this length PQ is exactly equal to length of LM. Length of QR is equal to length of MN. Length of QR is equal to length of MN. And angle Q over here is exactly equal to angle M over here. Means in a given two triangle, side angle side of first triangle is exactly congruent with side angle side of second triangle, or you can also say that when in a given two triangle, two connected side and common angle is exactly congruent with two connected side and common angle of second triangle, then it is said that first triangle is congruent with second triangle. First triangle is congruent with second triangle by side angle side angle side test of congruency. Means here we can say that triangle PQR is congruent with triangle LMN by side angle side test of congruence. So presently we have seen the two tests. First is called as angle side angle test of congruency and second side angle side test of congruency. Along with these two, there are more two tests we have to understand it, and this fourth test is used during your answer in terms of proof and numericals. So understand it carefully. Now student, we are going to observe the third test or the type of test that is called as side test of congruence. Now it is also written in short as SSS test of congruence. Now what exactly it means? Let me show in terms of an example so you can easily understand the part. Let us say again I have taken a two triangle over here for the comparison and the part is. Let us say this is a triangle called as a triangle ABC and next triangle is triangle LMN. Now in this case length of AB is exactly equal to length of LM. Length of BC is exactly equal to length of MN and length of AC is exactly equal to length of LN. Means first side AB is exactly congruent with LM, second side BC is exactly congruent with MN and third side AC is exactly congruent with LN. Means all the three sides of first triangles are exactly congruent with all the three sides of second triangle. You can also say vice versa, all the three sides of second triangles are exactly congruent with all the three sides of first triangle. Then it is said that first triangle is congruent with second triangle by side test of congruency, and it is written as therefore triangle ABC is congruent with triangle LMN by SSS test of congruency, and in this way we are indicating the part where SSS is the name of that test and congruency is symbolic presentation for the two triangle. But in that case sequence like triangle ABC, triangle LMN is most important. If you want to change the sequence of first triangle, then you have to change the sequence of second triangle. Means if any student is going to say that triangle ACB, then you have to say triangle ACB is congruent with triangle LNM like this. Means according to sequence you have to change the second sequence of that part. Or if you are going to say that triangle BCA is congruent with MNL like that way only. And in this case you can write the congruency of a triangle. Now after completing the third part of SSS test of congruency, we are entering into the fourth and the last part, that is hypotenuse side test of congruency. Now what exactly mean by hypotenuse side test of congruency? Again I have taken two triangle over here for the comparison and I am going to call triangle ABC in which angle B is 90 degree, means it is somehow specific type. Second triangle is triangle PQR. So angle Q is 90 degree. Here angle B is 90 degree, here angle Q is 90 degree. Exactly opposite to angle B, means opposite to 90 degree, we call it as a hypotenuse. Means you can say hypotenuse AC is exactly congruent with opposite to 90 means Q, that is hypotenuse PR. Means here the length of hypotenuse AC is congruent with length of hypotenuse PR. Next, length of side AB is exactly congruent with length of PQ. Here opposite to 90, that is a mandatory. Opposite to 90 means hypotenuse is mandatory, means hypotenuse of first triangle is congruent with hypotenuse of second triangle, and any one side means AB is congruent to PQ, means one hypotenuse one side of first triangle must be congruent with hypotenuse and side of second triangle. Then it is said that these two triangles are congruent by hypotenuse side test. And here we can write, therefore triangle ABC is congruent with triangle PQR by hypotenuse side test of congruency. And in this way we can indicate the part. So we understand four part. First, angle side angle test of congruency. Second, side angle side test of congruency. Third, SSS test of congruency. And fourth, hypotenuse side test of congruency. And this test we are going to use in numerical when we want to show two triangles as a congruent, and we are using that part in exercise 3.2 in the numerical. हेलो फ्रेंड्स एंड माय डियर स्टूडेंट, अगर आप हमारे वीडियोस देख रहे हो और आपको ये वीडियोस पसंद आते हो तो आप हमारे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कीजिए और नीचे दिए हुए बेल आइकन को क्लिक करना ना भूलें। साथ में अपने फ्रेंड्स और ग्रुप इसमें भी आप ये वीडियो शेयर कीजिए ताकि नॉलेज ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा बच्चों तक पहुँचे। अलग अलग टॉपिक के साथ मैं आपको मिलता रहूँगा। मैं आपका एसवी सर आगे आने वाले वीडियोज़ को बनाता रहूँगा और आप तक पहुँचाता रहूँगा। थैंक यू वेरी मच।